Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Top 10 Countdown for Rock Solid's Funniest Moments in 2021. I'm Aaron Kahn, and I'll be taking you through what I consider to be the most hilarious moments from this year. 2021 was an interesting year for Rock Solid. It saw Pat upping his game, scoring interviews via the Zoom room with several musicians. Along with this, Pat started recording episodes with people in person again, while also opening guest co-host spots to people via the Zoom room. Now, while I'm the one who decided on this list, I'm also taking into account what moments were referenced in later episodes, talked about on social media, and so on. So with that all out of the way, let's get into the list. Alright, at number 10 we have a clip from the Rick Springfield episode, an episode in which Pat was joined by listener David Festini via the Zoom room, and that was towards the beginning of this year. Now they talked about Rick Springfield for a long time, 3 hours in fact. Along with this, Pat also put the link to the Zoom call up on Twitter in hopes that Rick Springfield would show up. While this never happened, Rock Solid listener Matthew Berkey ended up joining the call and sitting in towards the end of the episode. As Matthew was about to leave, Pat had some closing remarks for him. One of those remarks is this number 10 moment.
So Matt, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut you loose. I appreciate you jumping in here, but we're going to geek out and close out this show. But thanks for popping in. It's always good to hear you on the show when you contribute.
Yes.
Whenever I see your file come in, I get excited. And I don't think you've ever missed one. If you have, I've been disappointed. So keep on keeping on. Is that a thing that an old man says?
Quite possible.
We'll see you later, Matt.
See you, Matt.
Let's hear that voice, Matt. Say goodbye.
Hi, this is Matt Berkey saying goodbye.
See ya.
See ya. Keep on keeping on.
Who says that? Here's my wish. I wish that Rick would go into the studio with Dave Grohl producing and the Foo Fighters backing him up and do a whole album. That might get some play.
It would be. Oh, well, yeah, I would think it would for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the song that they did for the soundtrack, I think the man that
Man that wasn't there?
there you go. Thank you. How do I forget these things?
Yeah.
I think that track is great, and I think that Grohl, you've seen that documentary. I think that he really likes Rick Springfield and the music.
Yes.
So I think the music would be great, and I think he would really get into it, and then they could produce it on that board, right? Because he still has it.
Yeah. The Neve, is that what it's called? The Neve?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they could call that album. I'd call that Rick Springfield Keep On Keeping On. That's what I'd call that album.
Produced by Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
This is a pretty funny moment because Pat just didn't know what else to say. I don't know how many other people would find this funny, but personally, I found it to be funny. All right, at number 9 is a clip from the Phil Collins episode in which Pat was joined by John Lamoureux from the Hustle podcast, and this was another Zoom episode. As the episode went on, Pat and John's interest in the episode seemed to decrease with all the later albums from Phil Collins. With that, the topic changed from Phil Collins to podcasting itself. At one point, John shared his experience in trying to get Howard Jones on The Hustle. His story, and how Pat is somewhat responsible, makes for this funny moment.
Who were some of the people that you thought you were going to get? No problem. This is a lock. I'm getting this person. This is easy. And then you just couldn't get them. Do you have some of those people?
I have lots of them, and one of them is partly your fault. I love Howard Jones. Everybody I know has had Howard.
Fault? I don't even like Howard Jones.
Because I'm going to tell you why this is your fault.
Oh my God.
Everyone I know pretty much has had Howard on their podcast, and his publicist, I used to email every few months.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yes. And she would say, no, he's really busy right now working on this or that. Maybe, in a couple of months. And then I'd email in a couple of months and she'd say, he's really busy doing this or that. In the meantime, I would see him on someone else's podcast.
Right. And that makes you mad.
That makes me mad. And one of the times I was there visiting you, you were telling me how you just play hardball with these people.
And I do.
Yes. And you're like, you know what, lady? No one else tells me no except for you. You're the only one, So I'm like, I'm going to do the Pat Francis on Howard Jones's publicist. And I'm like, look, you've been blowing me off for years. What do I have to do to make this happen? Do I have to send you a gift? Is the problem that I'm not good enough or I'm not big enough?
Yeah.
Just be straight with me. What do I have to do? I'm a huge fan. I know more about Howard Jones than most of the people that he talks to.
Yeah.
Why not me? Now she won't return any of my emails.
No.
And if she does, because I still email her every few months. And she also handles Tom Bailey from the Thompson Twins, who I also really love. She won't go near me. And if she does, it's no. It's like one-word emails, you know? And I think, man, it's because I did what Pat suggested that I'm never going to get Howard Jones on the show now. And I've had people who know Howard put in a good word for me with Howard, and she's still in the middle and won't let it happen. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, I've been going after Ricky Lee Jones for so long, and I just can't believe it's not happening. And then finally, just a couple months ago, her guy said, don't ask for Ricky anymore. So her new book comes out this week. So I emailed him. I'm like, hey, is Ricky doing press for the new book? And he said, I'm no longer working with Ricky Lee Jones. So, but that's good because now so today I emailed the proper person and she got right back to me immediately. And she said, I'm talking to Ricky about this right now. So hang tight. So, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
But what I would do is when, and what John said is partly true.
Now, this is another clip where I don't know how many people will find this funny, but personally, I am very aware of the quote-unquote Pat Francis technique in sending email requests for things like this. How do I know about this? Well, I've personally gone to Pat over the years for advice in trying to get things to review for Pop Culture Beast, and when he told me his strategy, I found it to be intriguing, but I just couldn't do it. For me, it just seems too harsh and also not genuine. After hearing John's story, I probably won't be trying the Pat Francis email anytime soon. All right, the number 8 clip comes from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame episode from this year for the class of 2021, an episode in which Pat was joined by Murray and Christy. Early on in the episode, Ezra's roommate Elliot walked by the rock room to say hello. What Elliot had to say afterwards leads to this multi-part funny moment.
Stranger walking through your door right now.
Stranger, this is Elliot.
Oh,
it's Ezra's roommate who's living here for the summer.
How you doing,
Elliot?
Elliot,
nice
this is Christy and Murray and Frank.
Nice to meet you. I love your outfit. Oh my gosh, thank you.
That's coming from a college
you guys, a young
student.
person. Yes,
Can
a
you
young
believe it?
person complimented my outfit. I'm going to dine out on that for a week.
I know, isn't that great?
Yes.
Elliot, I'm wearing clothes.
The glasses.
Oh, shut it. Yeah. When is Susie Quattro going to be on? She hasn't been on in 10 minutes.
She's been on twice already.
I know.
She's my.
I'm saying, when's she going to be on? It's been a while. It's been almost a month since she hasn't been on. Is that her?
No,
I thought that was
Elliot
Quattro.
again.
It's Elliot again. Elliot, what do you think of my shirt?
It's checkered, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, Elliot.
I like it.
All right. Lock the door behind you.
Elliot's from Massachusetts. Who doesn't want to live in California for the summer? Right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame episode from 2021 is one of my favorite episodes from this year. It was such a great mix of things all happening at once. This moment is funny mostly because of Christy's reaction to Elliot's comment. And hearing Christy react to anything is almost always funny. Also, Elliot's less than impressed reaction to Murray's clothes, hilarious. At number 7, we have a clip from the Ladies of Motown episode, an episode in which Pat was joined by Kevin Harbarger. Almost an hour or so into the show, Pat mentioned to Kevin about Pilar's love for cooking for other people. With it being late at night, Pat wondered if Pilar would be up for making anything for him and Kevin. What follows afterwards makes for this funny moment.
Now, let me ask you a question. This is totally off topic. Mm-hmm. I know you don't eat red meat. Do you eat tuna fish?
I do.
My wife insisted, she wants to make us paninis.
Okay.
Do you want a tuna panini?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
All right. Let me text her. Like before I came up here, she insisted on making paninis. And I'm like, I don't want a panini right now. But now I want a panini.
Now that we've sat here.
Now that we've sat here.
Been here for a few minutes. And,
yeah. And I got to tell you, I'm going to cook them on this charging block.
That's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
That way we're using the power.
Well, and I feel like it's also, it's all about conservation out here in California, right? So if you already have a hot source, why not use that to your advantage?
Oh, they did. My text, it auto-corrected paninis. It says, I would like a tuna penis. So.
Well, who wouldn't?
So there we go. She's going to be mad now because now she probably got her jammies on. She probably got in bed. And now I'm saying, yes, we would like paninis.
Yes. Go ahead.
2 hours ago, I didn't want paninis.
Yeah, well.
Now I want paninis.
Yeah, you never know.
Paninis, that sounds suggestive.
It does sound suggestive.
Right? Panini.
Well, can I tell you what I'm very excited about, though?
What?
Is that I'm going to use that spice that she gave me earlier.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're calling it now, spice?
Yeah, the spice.
What is it? What was it? It's a sandwich sprinkle.
Sandwich sprinkle.
Because she bought 2 of them.
She did. But
she told me those were $20 each. That can't be a $20 item, sandwich sprinkle.
I mean, now I'm kind of curious what's actually in there.
I know.
Like, is there coke in it?
There might be cocaine in it. Opium sprinkle. Oh, look. Now, I'm going to let you read the, what is it? No, it says, fuck Kevin. No. This was the response.
All right.
What's it say?
Am I going to read that out loud?
Yeah.
Coming up. Like a flower.
Coming up. That's good. I thought I would get like she loves to cook though. She loves to prepare food for me.
That's great.
She says it's relaxing.
I'm very excited then. All right.
It better be good or someone's going to get the backhand.
It's me, right? You're going to give me the backhand.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, are you going to beat me to the punch on this?
I just might.
All right. Right now we are joined by the aforementioned, the chef of the house.
Yeah.
We did mention you because I said, I'm going to, my wife wanted to make us paninis and I poo-pooed it.
Well, he said.
I popped my peas.
He said tuna. So I made tuna melts. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. And then those are.
He eats tuna.
Pesto. I know. People have more refined taste than you. So
I like you.
This has pesto and tomato, and I've cut off the end. It's the end parts of the tomato.
This is all being recorded.
The seeds that you can't eat.
Yeah, I can't eat the seeds.
Right. So
because I'm 80.
Right, exactly. So there's like 80-year-old men.
Stay here. I'm going to take a bite. Because eating on mic people love it.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Hopefully that's not a secret recipe that everyone now has.
Where are you going?
It's a tuna melt.
I know. Hold on. Get over here. Stay here. Stay here.
Jesus Christ.
While you're here, why would you take the Lord's name in vain? Okay, I'm going to take a bite of it. You know what time it is right now? 9/11. Never forget.
Oh, come on, Pat.
Oh, boy.
Don't chew on Mike. That's gross.
I can tell you something.
What?
That's goddamn good.
I'm sorry, Pat starved here.
What else can you make? After 23 years of marriage, finally makes me a sandwich. I call it a Sammy.
I doubt that.
All right. Have at it, Kevin.
Pat can be pretty funny sometimes. From the 9/11 remark to the crunching sound of the panini, this had me cracking up. All right, at number 6, we have a clip from the Gems from Dirtbags episode, where Pat was joined via the Zoom room by Kyle, Mike Siegel, and Steve O'Dockerson. In the episode, everyone played songs that they loved from people who were dirtbags. When it was Pat's turn the second or third time around, the next one he had ready to play was not going to be an easy one for him. I'm just going to leave it as that and let you enjoy the number 6 moment. So here we go.
Look, I don't even want to tell you. This is a difficult one. I don't know what to say about this guy. I'm not even. We all know him. I'm going to play it, then we'll talk about it. This guy's rough.
From the album Rusty Cow, here is...
Hey, Murray Valeriano.
All right, moving right along. But I am glad to be here. Listen, I know a lot of comedians come up here and say they're glad to be here. Bullshit.
Oh, shit.
No, lying through faces. But I, Murray Valeriano, am glad to be here with you tonight. And I thank you all for coming out. Let me tell you why I'm glad to be here. For the last 3.5
All right.
months.
I mean,
Okay.
look.
I'm sorry.
What
I'm
can we
sorry. I
say?
jumped in on your joke. I apologize.
Wow, that was an amazing guess there, Steve-O.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Steve-O, you heard the word dirtbag and synonymous with that.
Well, we've got how long have we been talking and we haven't made fun of Murray? I
honestly thought Ted Nugent was coming.
Oh, he's coming.
And I swear to God,
gonna say
that was my next song in the queue. That's what I was building to. And Steve-O, you nailed it. But all right.
I apologize for jumping in.
We're joking. We love Murray. No, it made it even funnier.
Now, I'll have to admit that I didn't laugh out loud too much when I first heard this, but looking back, it's really funny that Steve-O was unintentionally able to correctly guess that Murray was coming up. In a later episode of Rock Solid, Pat mentioned this moment to Murray.
By the way, yesterday we recorded, our episode was Gems from Dirtbags, which are good songs from people who are bad people. And at one point,
Mind Games by John Lennon.
And at one point, I said, I was what do I want to say, ramping up for the track I was going to play, and I wouldn't give the guy's name. And Steve-O said, "Is it Murray Valeriano?" And that's exactly what I had. Stay at Home Dad queued up, and I played the clip of you stand up, Stay at Home Dad. So we just started to laugh because we're like, yes, that's exactly. And Steve was like, I ruined your joke. I go, no, I think you made it funnier because you guessed that,
That's
which is
hilarious.
ridiculous.
That is so funny.
But I told people not to go buy it.
Now, Steve-O's logic was right. They hadn't made fun of Murray yet. But even then, he was able to correctly guess that it was Murray that came up. Although he really wasn't guessing, he was just being silly, unaware of the fact that Pat's next clip was from Rusty Cow. It really is a funny moment. All right, at number 5, we have a moment that comes from an interview episode. Early in 2021, Pat was able to score what might be his biggest guest yet, Brian Johnson from AC/DC. While this was done in the Zoom room, this was still a pretty big deal. Listening to the episode, Brian didn't disappoint. With that in mind, this moment happened towards the beginning of the episode. When Pat asked Brian about Brian's favorite guest from Brian's recent On the Road show, Brian proceeded to tell a story about meeting Dolly Parton. His story makes for the number 5 moment.
Who was a guest that you were able to get that you were just so excited about?
I think I loved them all, but Dolly Parton was somebody that I always admired, and not exactly rock and roll, but she had everything, the talent, the songwriting capability, that lovely voice, and just, the struggle to get from the place she was born to where she is now. And just that lovely bouncy character. I thought, I wonder if that's real. It cannot be real. It has to be manufactured, but it isn't. It was her. And I thoroughly enjoyed every minute in her company. She was just a joy to be with. And of course, I'm not a journalist like yourself. I'm not used to this. And I was terrible amateur at it. But it was something, I wasn't doing anything, obviously, because I had to stop doing my thing. And it was my management said, listen, why don't you talk to some of your pals? And they all came to the fore. But I remember it was awful. I was talking to Dolly Parton, and that's where I learned you've got to be careful when you're in your position and asking people questions. And I said, Dolly, you've made 62 albums. You've written 3,200 songs. I said, I don't suppose there's ever going to be a chance of a Dolly Parton's Greatest Hits album. And she went, what do you say? And I went, hits, greatest hits, and I suddenly I was so embarrassed, the way things come out, right. So, but you learn on the job,
Exactly.
Now, this was a highly anticipated episode of Rock Solid, at least for me, and I'm sure other people would admit that too. And the things going through my mind were, well, I know that Brian's a little bit of a joker. Is he going to be funny? Now, I know from other interviews that Brian's given, he can be a bit of a funny guy, so I just wondered if he would have any stories to tell. He did not disappoint here. This is a pretty funny story. All right, now we come to the number 4 moment. When it came to getting COVID vaccines this year, some people were savvier than others. One of those savvier people was Pat Francis. During the Downworld episode, in which Pat was joined by his friend Rebecca, Pat told the story as to how he was able to book his vaccine shots. His story makes for the number 4 moment.
I feel like I should tell my story now. I've never told. See, I don't post. There's something weird for me about posting your vaccination card on social media.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me because, you know, and even though I'm going to tell you this story real quickly, probably not quickly, probably be a long, long story, but I just feel like then you open it up to people like responding like, my mom's 82 and she couldn't get it. How did you get it? Or, you know, or what happened? So anyway, I just, even though I'm going to tell this story in a public forum right now for you, I haven't posted and I'm not, and I won't post, but I will tell this, and more people will hear this than will ever see my Facebook. Okay. Right. So I kept trying and trying and trying. I would go through the myturn.ca.gov, trying to get an appointment, doing everything I can do. And then one day I'm on there, and when it came to occupation, I checked retired. And as soon as I did that, I immediately had 2 appointments scheduled for the 1st and 2nd. So I printed out my paperwork. I look at my paperwork. It says when I show up at CSUN in Northridge, I'm going to have to go to the 65 and older mod. But
you cheated.
I didn't cheat because my real date of birth is there.
Okay.
So I just figure, well, I'll figure it out when I get up there. Either they'll send me home or, yeah, but I was going to say, look, I'm retired. I do air quotes. But my real age is here. And if they sent me home, fine. So I go up there. It's a drive-through. So the first line of defense, actually the only line of defense, it's the first gatekeeper. I roll down my window a little bit and the woman says, do you have your paperwork? Show her my paperwork. Do you have your ID? Show her my ID. Had a code on my phone. And then she says to me, do you have a pre-existing medical condition? And I say, no, I don't. And she says, because you kind of need a pre-existing medical condition to get a vaccine here today. And I said, well, yeah, no, I really don't. And then she says, are you sure you don't have a pre-existing medical condition? Now, Rebecca, I'm still not getting it because now I want to be super honest now because I feel like maybe I was fudging on the paperwork. So I go, absolutely not. I really don't. I do not have I'm sorry to say, but I do not have a pre-existing medical condition. I feel fine. I'm in tip-top shape. So she kind of sighs and her shoulders just like, oh. And she turns around. She goes over to her table. She brings this form over. She puts it in the window and she says, okay, you're going to check this box, which indicates that you have a pre-existing medical condition. And then you're just going to sign your name here. And then I get it. And I'm like, okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. So I'm kind of not comfortable with checking the box and signing it because I feel like that's like a paper trail. Lying. That's a paper trail of lies.
Yeah.
So the next person I come to, it's the person that's giving me the vaccine. Well, they don't ask me for any paperwork. They just say, license. Okay, we got your name here. And I got the vaccine and I got 1 of 2. The next one happens this Thursday. And
I know
that was it. So
I think everyone's trying to be really ethical and wait their turn. But I know a lot of people who are like, I kind of really need it. Like I have to go to work.
Yeah. I mean,
do what you gotta do.
Look, I emailed I texted my friend who's a nurse in the emergency room, front lines. And I just said, hey, I just booked an appointment to get my vaccination. But this might not be ethical the way I did it. And I just said, what do you think? Literally, if she would have said, yeah, that's not cool. Don't do that.
Right.
But the text back in all caps was fucking get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure? She goes, so many people are refusing it that if you can get it, you should get it.
I have a friend who's a nurse who I just talked to today, and she said the same thing. She was waiting her turn because she is a nurse, but she was furloughed. So she's like, I don't really have to go to the office right now.
Yeah.
And they made it available to like 30,000 medical personnel in New Jersey. And of the 30,000, she said like 2,500 showed up. So many people were just like, I don't know. And she was like, oh, screw it then. Get out of the way. I'll get it then if you're not sure. Yeah.
So that's where we are.
There you go.
I was going to say I should have it because I'm a national treasure.
Right.
You know, Tom Hanks, Pat Francis, and Bruce Springsteen. We should all get it.
When I first heard this and Pat told the part about checking off retired, I was cracking up already. And I knew this was going to be something good. And it did not disappoint. All right. And number 3, we have another clip from the Hall of Fame episode. One of the artists inducted into the Hall this year was the Go-Go's. After Head Over Heels was played, Christy proceeded to tell a story about her middle school days and how she managed to become one of the cool girls. Her story is our number 3 clip.
I like
Better
this.
than the other one.
This town that was I would have picked that song.
Yeah, that's a good song.
And I love Head Over Heels. That might have been my favorite Go-Go song.
Yeah, they have
done my homework.
They have solid songs.
Absolutely.
They do have a few solid songs, 100%.
But
we got the beat. We did a dance to that in the talent show in Montague Middle School.
Yeah.
How much
I was
to
tall.
get you to do that now?
What do you mean?
Like how much? Like $100?
Hey,
$20.
Creepy Murray coming in. What are you doing? As soon as Frank leaves, all of a sudden you're throwing money at her to do a dance?
I like your
We
outfit
had plastic pants and sweatshirts with our names embroidered on them.
Okay.
And did you say you were tall in middle school? Is that what you said?
Yes, and so we did this V formation for some reason where the back of the V was the shortest girl.
Mhm.
So Stacy Youngblood and I were like the front of the V.
I love when people say the names of people they went to high school and grade school with.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
And you did a routine to Head Over Heels?
No, to We Got the Beat.
Oh, We Got the Beat?
And because it was the cool girl dance, and I did not get asked to do the 6th grade cool girl dance was to It's a Hard Knock Life from
Okay.
Annie, and I was like, I just had to watch from the audience. And then I can remember being with Jennifer Rolls when she was asked to be in the cool girls dance to We Got the Beat. That was 7th grade, and I weaseled my way into that because I was new to this middle school, so they didn't know me. So I weaseled my way into that, and then of course the 8th grade cool girl dance was New York, New York. And we all had to wear hose and then fishnets. 8th grade. Fishnet hose, a bodysuit. But you guys, I didn't know that there was pantyhose that did not have the control top. Do you know what I mean by that?
I do.
There is a line that goes halfway down your thigh, okay? And it's kind of a control top, and that's what my mom had. And so I only knew this later on in life. You can see all these fishnet hose, and there's me with you can see the control top underneath the fishnet because that's all I knew. No, I mean, I had to pretty much parent myself, and that was, I had to grab these things, and no one told me, and you could only see it from afar.
What did you do to become the cool girl all of a sudden?
I
You start
wasn't.
smoking?
I weaseled
okay.
I fought and scraped and clawed my way in.
Okay. And then you wore your mom's control tops?
I wore them underneath the fishnets, and you could see the line
Okay.
instead of it being just like a smooth line, for an 8th grade girl to be
Right.
wearing fishnet hose or pantyhose on a fishnet hose.
At first, now I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No, but it was funny because I showed this picture to people, and it's just me in this bodysuit, and it's I'm like, good Lord, like this was.
Can you send it? Can you send it to us?
Let's get Elliot's opinion on this.
It really was wow, they let us do that.
It's always fun when Christy's on the show, and that story right there is no exception. The number 2 moment is a series of clips from the Let's Get Horny episode, a Patreon-curated episode that Pat hosted with Kevin Hartbarger. When it came time to play Michael Bagford's intro song, Pat noticed that something was up about Bagford's voice. What happened afterwards makes for this number 2 moment.
Hey, Rock Solid listeners, this is M Bags here. Mikey B, Michael Bagford, Jag Bag. This was called in one episode by Pat. Thanks.
Is he drinking? You know Michael too, because he plays Name That Tune. Michael, are you hitting the booze?
I just was thinking the same thing.
He sounds juiced up.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did a couple shots before he recorded the intro.
All right, I'm going to start it over because we interrupted it. But dude, I can smell it on you. It's 100 proof. Here we go. Going to start it over with Jagbag.
Hey, Rock Solid listeners, this is M Bags here. Mikey B, Michael Bagford.
Hey, this is Michael Bagford. Hey, homie, I'm going to play a song with some horns.
I love you guys so much.
Hey, does anybody want to hear some Pink Floyd?
Jagbag. This was called in one episode by Pat. Thanks very much.
Why are you calling me Jagbag?
I'm going to go with a band that I love, and that is Pink Floyd. And this song is Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 through 5. The sax solo is done by Dick Perry, and it is a classic.
The sax solo is done by Dick Pick.
All right, we had drunk Michael Bagford. We have another Michael. I hope this guy's not loaded. 3 sheets to the wind. You're a father, for God's sake, Michael. Put the gin down.
I just want to listen to Pink Floyd and open up my box sets.
You live close to Glenview, right?
Yeah, Glenview's the town right next to mine. Do you want me to just take the book back with me?
How funny would that be? You
just knock on
I
Mark's
have the guy's
door.
head, or you just knocking
Knock at his door.
Special delivery from Jagbag. Hey, Glasky, did you like this book?
All right, here we go.
Hi, Pat, and all the Rock Solid listeners. This is Mike Markle from the Philadelphia suburbs. I'm not a big fan of horns and rock and roll songs, and to quote Mark Knopfler, they don't give a damn about any trumpet-playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. Having said that, there is one rock and roll song that I think makes exceptional use of horns. That song is Runnin' with the Devil by Van Halen.
All right, another guy who plays Name That Tune. And this gentleman and I are going to be doing an all Deep Purple episode very soon, before the end of the year. I just keep telling these people before the end of the year. I know they all think I'm pushing them off, and I'm really not.
Oh, when are we going to do that Grateful Dead episode? Jerry Garcia.
Keep drinking like that. You're going to be seeing Jerry Garcia very soon.
That's right.
Bagford. All right, here's Kyle Hildreth. I did pick a Phil Collins song because I think this one kicks off with horns from The Jump, which is one of Mike Schmidt's favorite sayings. So, from The Jump, this is Phil Collins from my favorite Phil Collins album, Hello, I Must Be Going, and the song is called I Cannot Believe It's True. Thanks for being here, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Makes me laugh.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Now, personally, I found this to be funny, and I think other people found it to be funny. However, Bagford wasn't so sure when he first heard it. Taken from the Grateful Dead episode, Pat brought this up.
Mike, one more thing. I want to get this right at the top. Bonus episode that dropped. Michael did an intro, and I pretended like it sounded like Michael was drunk. And apparently, I think when you heard that, you didn't appreciate it. You can be honest.
At first, I didn't appreciate it, but I kind of gave it time and actually listened to the whole episode. And then everyone was saying how funny my intro was. So I feel better about it now.
Okay, good.
I know you're just joking around. So
I'm
I don't
absolutely
take any
joking.
offense to it.
I got to be honest.
So basically, you're saying you're an angry drunk.
Yes.
He wasn't even drunk. But so I was doing my Barney Gumble impression then for the rest of the episode. Every time I would talk about Michael Bagford, I would just go,
"Hey, I'm Michael Bagford."
Bags, I am now in your corner, buddy. I am now in your corner on this one.
As you know, Murray, I probably did it, 10 too many times. But
10?
Anyway.
10?
I did a lot of times.
I think we're lowballing it with 10. I know you.
Hey, I'm Murray. My heart sucks.
Okay, so.
I'm glad that everybody now can see it as a funny moment. Now, I don't think Pat's impression of Michael Bagford sounds anything like Michael Bagford, but I think that's what makes it so funny. So, yeah, one of my favorite moments from this year. And now we've come to the number one clip. This is a series of clips taken from the Grateful Dead episode, a show in which Pat was joined by Murray and the aforementioned Michael Bagford via the Zoom room. When talking about the Grateful Dead's 1970 album American Beauty, Bagford chose the song Candyman as his pick from that album. While the song was playing, Pat took some caution in playing too much of the song.
I have to pause it for a second. He's not going to say the word Candyman 5 times during this song, is he? Because I don't want any trouble here at my house.
You're such an idiot.
Yeah, I don't want any, look, I don't want anything happening. Let me get back to the song. Here we go.
Later, Pat played Christina Aguilera's rendition of the song, which actually wasn't a cover song. It was a different song with the same name. However, that didn't stop Pat from playing it throughout the show. After the second time, this happened. And this is where the funny moment is, so cue the Christy laugh.
And anybody out there listening who said, you know what, I bet that Michael Bagford can't jitterbug. You are fucking wrong. He was busting it out right now. Spinning baby bags around, and
he's got a poodle skirt on. I had no idea.
Yeah.
If I say Tom Petty's name 5 times, will he appear? Because I'd be okay with that. Wouldn't that be great if you could just say, I know, Murray, you're going to say Marilyn Monroe's name 5 times later.
You have any references of today?
Today I don't.
Okay.
But today I don't, because we're listening to old-timey music.
Hey, if we can listen, if I'm going to wait, I'm not going to waste on. I'm going Laura Ingalls Wilder. Come on.
You're going to. Well, she's still with us.
Is she? Well, not the original Laura Ingalls Wilder, the girl who wrote the book. She's probably long dead.
You want the author of the books to come to you?
Yeah. If we're going old, why not go old school?
What does
go Esther from the Bible?
What does she look like?
Probably not good.
You know what? You brought up the Bible, so I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Eve's name 5 times because, first of all, we know she does it, and second of all, she's naked.
Stupidest fucking thing you ever said.
It's true. It's all true. I don't care what you say.
All right. I think saying the name 5 times only applies to non-fictional characters. So,
well, then Eve. Oh, you don't believe in the Bible, Murray?
I love the fact you just said she's naked and she fucks.
Well, look, if we've learned anything from the Bible, that's what we learned.
That's true.
Now, before she appears, I got a nice apple on the table. We're all set.
And a snake, if you know what I mean.
Of course. I know what you mean.
Why is Bags? I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry.
Why are you apologizing to him? This is what he tunes in for. The shenanigans. He doesn't like this music.
And it didn't stop there. Here's another 2 clips attached to this moment.
How many hits do you think Bread has?
I would go 2.
Oh, no. Bags, what about you?
They have enough to fill a best of album.
Yeah, don't be an dick like Murray. I'm going to read them to you here.
First of all, there's a difference between a greatest hits album and a best of album. A greatest hits album is based on facts. A best of is based on opinions. You could have Turd Ferguson as one of your songs, and you could put it on your best of because you think it's the best.
I don't mind that song, and as a matter of fact, I might say his name 5 times later.
Turd Ferguson, bring him back to life.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna look at. I'm just looking it up right now. We're on a tangent.
Yep.
Bread has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 top 40 hits. Now,
where?
Also, the
out
same
of those,
number
I'm
of
going to tell you. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those are top 10.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what they are. You ready? Make It With You, which is what I'm going to do when Eve shows up.
Wait, Eve from the Bible or Eve the rapper?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I say that name 5 times, we might be having a threesome here because I don't know who's going to show up.
I think you probably have to say it 10 times to make sure they both get there.
I'm gonna.
Now, it was tricky to pick this as the number 1 moment because the episode that it comes from dropped at the end of November. But to be fair, the episodes were made available to the Patreon people around September or October. I had to think about this for a while, and I got to be honest, this is the moment that had me laughing the most from Rock Solid in 2021. I remember when first hearing it, I had to pause the podcast for a second just so I could contain my laughter, or try to stop myself from laughing any harder, because when listening to this, I was at work at Goodwill taking pictures of jewelry. Just the way things escalate in this series of clips, just from it being discussion over a Grateful Dead song to horror movies, and then finally a debate over reincarnation. This is just too funny. So I had to make it the number one clip. Of the number one clips I've chosen, this is the one that's dropped the latest, but I think it's worthy of its number one spot. So there you have it. The top 10 funniest moments from Rock Solid in 2021. I'm Aaron Kahn, and I'll see you all in 2022. Thank you for listening.